was definitely my biggest year yet.
Me like baatein, log meri karte baatein. Bure din aate rehte, jaate rehte. Koi mujhe fark nahi, koi inko bataye. Isliye haste rehte, khushiyan manaye.
Okay, so it's come to that time of the year where I look back on my year to see how it's been and tell you guys all about it, and also just remind myself about how my year went, because sometimes, you know, you forget after being so in it, you forget how things have gone. And can I tell you, 2024 has been an insane year. I swear it feels like January happened 5 years ago because so much has happened. Probably, it was definitely my biggest year yet. So yeah, I'm gonna break down what happened during my year, answer some of your questions, talk through my goals for the year, and what goals I achieved from 2023 into 2024. Usually when I go through these vlogs, I start off this vlog answering the questions that you guys put forward on Instagram and stuff, but I feel like a lot has happened this year that I think I just need to do a breakdown month by month, because I don't even know if I can answer everything in just your questions. I'll still answer a few of the questions later on, but I'm gonna take you throughout my 2024. So throughout the year, my main key focus was completing my EP Rani, which I started a couple years ago when I first released Legacy and Chelly Meh. Oh yeah, Rani pre the merch. But the beginning of the year was kind of just following through stuff that I had already started off in 2023. So beginning with January 2024, my biggest thing yet, which was performing at Wembley Arena. Huge. I can't even explain how amazing this felt, performing to over 10,000 people. Those few moments on stage literally was a dream come true, and I cannot wait to perform at a stage like that again. It's crazy because I literally mentioned in a documentary in 2023 in about October time, I said something like, I hope that one day I perform at an arena.
Hopefully someday an arena, we'll see.
And literally a few months later, I'm there performing at an arena in front of 10,000 people. And I feel like a lot of things that have happened this year are a result of manifestation. Another huge moment was that Ni Gundelona, which is a track that you all loved so much last year, hit 1 million views on YouTube this year in January. Bilal and I did like our own little celebration. We got our plaques with 1 million YouTube views. And yeah, it just felt really nice because we were able to see fruits of our hard work. Then in February, we carried on a project that Bilal and I had started the previous year. I released the single Without You, which was in Punjabi and English. I quite like this one because it really got my, you know, Bollywood style vocals out. Very melodious, but also I just loved the entire project, shooting the music video especially. This one was quite close to home because we shot it in my hometown, Milton Keynes. Anyone from Milton Keynes will know these places, but Willen Lake, near the hub, at home as well, by my fireplace. It was also my first acting sort of video, and kind of I directed it in a way as well. I had the whole storyline planned out. If you know me personally, you'll know I'm an organizational freak. So I had my Google Doc with all my scenes planned, with all the people involved as well. And I was communicating with my director, Morshed, who absolutely did a smashing job as well. But yeah, overall it was really fun because I made my directional debut in a way, drama debut, acting debut. Also with the song Without You, I was experimenting random things on TikTok, like filters and templates and stuff. And one of them did really well, hit over 1 million views, and had loads of people recreating it. So that was cool. Definitely something I want to be doing for more of my songs going forward. Then March came. I had to step back slightly music-wise because it was my parents' 25th anniversary, and we had a big party in India, and I was organizing a lot of the event that happened, put together the performances, recreated Ni Gundelona. My mum's Odia and my dad's Telugu, so I recreated it in a way that the Bengali lyrics were in Odia, so it made sense for them as a couple when I sang it to them. So yeah, that was a bit of a personal month, but also outside of the time that we were in India, I was working in studio trying to get the EP sorted. A key moment for April was, again, another fruit of manifestation, but I sang my own song at a fashion walk, Asiana TV fashion show, 2 years ago when I first started promoting Chalime because it was a women empowerment track, girls stick together sort of vibe. I put out this content piece where it was used as the background music for a fashion show, and here I am 2 years later singing that very song at a fashion show, and I was singing in the middle with the models walking in the fashion show. So that was a very dream come true moment because I literally envisioned the song in a fashion show and it happened. Leading into May, had a big performance this month, performed at BBC Radio 1's Big Weekend, which literally artists that I've looked up to have performed at, which felt absolutely insane. Like, imagine performing at a festival Ed Sheeran performed at a couple years ago. It's absolutely crazy. Very special moment for me. I was supported by some very talented musicians. My friend Jam was on the keyboard, guitar, saxophone, and I had Nikhil on the guitar and Dash on the drums. We were rehearsing like crazy in the month before. Every week we were in sessions rehearsing for this big show, and it was nice to bring both covers and originals together to perform at the Big Weekend. Thank you BBC for having me, because that really meant a lot.
Oh, and BBC wrote this really cute note which had titles of my own songs, and they put it into this note in the dressing room before I was performing, so that really hyped me up and just made me feel really loved before my performance. So yeah, thank you BBC for having me.
And just a week after that show, we released Saloni, which is my collab with Saloni. It is in English, Punjabi and Telugu. It's a garage track, so very different to the kind of music that I was already making. Mazza on the track smashed the production on this. And I collaborated with a few people, so collaborated obviously with Mazza on the track and Saloni as the key performers, but also Bilal, Reveal, Harsha to help with the lyrics and the melodies. So this one was a real teamwork piece, and I loved it because it was so different to what I usually do. A very catchy one as well, and it was just great to work with a household legend, the Punjabi legend Saloni, and bring my mother tongue to it as well. And I think this was my first track that got on the A-list playlist on BBC Asian Network, so that was a huge moment. Then in June was birthday month. I went and celebrated with my friends in Copenhagen, but also a very busy work month as well.
We were promoting Saloni a bit, had a few interviews. I went on to BBC Asian Network with DJ Limelight and Candyman, which was really nice. We continued to shoot some content for the song. So June was a continuation of Saloni promo, and also
this was the time we were trying to wrap up everything to do with the EP and Rani, because we were releasing the first track of the EP the next month in July. So July was the first single of the EP called Rani, which is the title track of the EP. Released it with farooqgotaudio, and actually quite something, again, quite out of my comfort zone. It was a hip-hop track, but if you've heard me talk about it in my interviews in the past, it's literally, as soon as I heard this beat, I knew I wanted it because it felt so empowering, so like, it just felt so big. I guess it was the whole feeling of the hip-hop sort of style, but just it felt very regal as well, and that's why I called it Rani, which means queen in Hindi. But yeah, I've talked so much about Rani in the past in interviews and podcasts and everything, so I'll let you guys go watch that. But yeah, July was a big one because it was the first month of a very big project. And also at the time, people didn't know that this track was part of a bigger project, part of an EP, but everyone was loving it, especially the music video. Akash was the videographer on this track and he absolutely smashed it, got my vision immediately. We also had loads of interviews for this one, had a fun one at Leica Radio with Donnie Brasco, performed snippets of it live at that interview. And later that month, I performed at Godiva Festival, another big mainstream festival that I wasn't expecting to perform at. And later on also announced the fact that Rani was part of an EP that's coming soon as a waterfall release. Like, I was dropping songs month after month to make the whole EP, and that it had my old songs Legacy and Chalime on it. So in August, that was one big announcement. And also a huge thing that happened in August was TikTok highlighted me as their spotlight artist for South Asian Heritage Month, which was a big one because this was a goal that I had set with my distribution. I'd spoken to them and I'd been like, I want to try and get more connects with TikTok. I want to get as much support from them as possible. I've been posting a lot on TikTok. What can we do? And for South Asian Heritage Month, timed perfectly with my Rani release, they had me as a spotlight artist. So I did a special TikTok live with them, performed the tracks from the EP that I had released at that point, which were Rani, Legacy and Chelly Meh, and they put me on their playlist and their banners. So if you were scrolling on the music library, you'd see Saloni, Rani, which I thought was really cool. And another huge one was the fact that Raja Kumari commented on my post, which again is just like a pinch me moment. Also this month we wrapped up the song with D8, Fade Away, and started shooting the music video for it. We went up to York to shoot it around the York Castle. Really cool music video to shoot, especially because it was all outdoors. And you know, then comes September, which is when we released the 4th single of the EP, Fade Away with D8. This one is very much so a fruit of manifestation. Basically, I was messaging Bilal as my producer saying I'd love to get a track in with D8 one day. I'm loving his songs. Shall we reach out to him? And then like 2 days later, D8 messages and says he wants to work with me on Instagram. And it's like, wow, I was literally talking about this the other day. How has this happened? We came out with this song. I think it's a really fun one because the chorus goes like, oh, oh. So it's like people can sing along. You don't need to know any lyrics. You can just, you know, hum along, sing along, and scream at the top of your lungs sort of vibes. But yeah, that one also did so well at my EP launch party because everyone was singing along. But yeah, I'll talk about that later. And a big one with this release was the fact that it was BBC Asia Network's weekend anthem, which is again something I'd been hoping to happen for a long time, and it happened with this song. So thank you again, BBC Asia Network. Also, overall this year, I've had like a few different influencer events, but in September, I had my favorite one, which was for Rimmel. They did the launch of some Rimmel products, and I always use them for my makeup anyway, so it was nice to get some freebies. But also, I got to watch Kenya Grace perform live. Literally, like, I was 1 foot away from her. That was really fun to watch. Now, October was the big month, the moment that I'd been leading up to this entire year, which was releasing the Rani EP. Throughout the year, I'd been planning how to release this EP, figuring out the marketing plan, social media, figuring out how to do the launch, ordering merch, figuring out designs, and just literally wrapping up the entire EP. And this was the month that it all came together. On the 25th of October, Rani, the EP, launched, and we had a launch party for it on the 24th, the night before, so that we were all leading up to a midnight release. And this was just insane because the EP came together, the launch was amazing, so many people turned up, people from the music industry, friends and family, and people that I just didn't expect to show up, like Arjun, AJ Wavy, Mumsy Stranger, Nish, so many people in the music industry that I literally admire because I love their work. And so it was really, really humbling and great to see that support come from people in the industry, but also my friends and family. Also just performing all the tracks from the EP, and obviously because some were already released, seeing people sing along to my song. The way that the event just went through was so great. Asian effects were a big part of the EP launch. Shivi, who was the host, did a smashing job. I received so many compliments about how Shivi took everyone through the event. We did like a bit of an interview style thing and then kind of went into the performances, had a few speeches. So thankful to 2 people in my music career that have been pillars of this and the big reason for being where I am today. Dutch, who scouted me to join his label back in when I started my career as an artist. It was an artist development company, Big Help Music, and he came in and said a few words. My Carnatic singing teacher, so going back to my Indian roots and my classical roots, she just spoke a little bit about me. And obviously my parents and my brother, who have been a huge part of this and supported me throughout. Overall, the event felt like a big thing because it was something that I'd been working on for 2 years, finally coming together on one night and launching the EP. Also, I felt like it really tested my patience because I took a lot of it on myself, organizing a lot of things, ordering things for the event. I delegated a few bits to my parents and my team, but a lot of it was me trying to push through. So lesson learned for next time, you know, everything's a learning lesson, but lesson learned for next time is not to take it on me and have an event organizer involved because it was a bit too much, but I'm glad it went out the way that it went. Everyone only had good things to say, and yeah, just felt really great to be able to launch my EP Rani in that way. And then we ended October on a huge note. I won the Ethnicity Awards, which again, I still don't know who nominated me for this, but whoever it was, thank you so much. I was up against mainstream artists that I literally either grew up listening to or listen to now, like Zayn from One Direction, Ray, Jay Sean, Tiny Temper, Emily Sandé, huge mainstream artists, and I won the award. Let me actually show you where I was placed amongst all the nominees. As you can see, That's me over here. And then there's Naughty Boy, there's Ray, Tiny Temper, Zayn Malik. That's just like, yeah, I still can't believe it, but thank you guys for voting. It was such a cool event as well. Sponsored by HSBC, had my Getty Images debut, which was really cool. Thank you to Amrika for sponsoring my outfit that night. Absolutely loved it. Everyone had such nice things to say about that, and I absolutely loved how I felt in it. So thank you so much. And yeah, that was a night to remember. Then November came, continuing the promo of the release Rani, had loads of interviews, loads of articles about Rani, some big publications like Notion, Eastern Eye, Rolling Stone, lots of hits on social media as well. Loads of people were commenting to receive links to stream it. So yeah, just overall was a really nice layoff of the EP. I also moved into a new flat, so that's a personal big thing that happened. Also the month that my first ever Telugu podcast came out, and I went to India in December, and the only thing anyone could talk about that I met, which was talking about that podcast, they absolutely loved it. So that was a fun experience, my first time kind of fully speaking in Telugu. I'm so fluent in Telugu with my parents and when I'm speaking in general, but to speak in an interview was definitely very, very tough. I was also strolling through London. I moved out a year ago and I really missed it, so I go all the time. But this time when I went around, I saw DJ AG at King's Cross, and I thought, you know what, why not, I'll just hop on. And I sang Rani, and he featured it on his page, which was really cool. So I did that, very out of my comfort zone, felt very weird to do in public, but hey, I was like, you know what, got nothing to lose, I may as well go. And then December, which, you know, we're all in the holiday mood, so we're not doing too much, but on a personal thing, I went to India, had some fun with my cousins, went for a wedding, which was really fun. But I came back on the 14th of December, that morning at 7 a.m, and then literally didn't even nap or anything, started getting ready because I had the UK Bhangra Awards that night. So we went to Birmingham and I won Best Urban Artist. So thank you again to everyone that voted. 2 awards in the same year. How crazy. You know what? Let me come and show you these awards. So this was the awards from the Ethnicity Awards, Music Artist 2024, as you can see. And this one was the UK Bhangra Awards. I don't know, it's clear glass, so it's tough to see, but it says Best Urban Artist, Saloni. So yeah, nice to get 2 awards in a year. So thank you everyone that has voted. It means so much to me, and thank you to whoever nominated me because you guys made this happen. So yeah, that's a bit of a rundown of my 2024. Whew, what a crazy year. So much has happened, and I'd like to thank everyone for supporting me throughout. I guess a little pat on the back for how this year went. Sometimes you can just get engrossed in getting on with work and not cherishing how much has happened. So this is a year of being thankful. Now I'll answer a few of your Q&As if I haven't already answered it throughout me running down through my year. Question 1 is, did you expect 2024 to turn out the way that it did? You've achieved everything this year. Yeah, 2024 was a crazy one, so much has happened, way better than expected. I did not expect it to turn out like this, but I'm so glad that it did. What was the highlight of the year and what can we expect from you in 2025 musically? Highlight would be Rani EP because I've been working so hard towards this point, and to finally have it out there was like a big goal achieved. As we know, 2024 has been a huge year and has kind of just been go, 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 go. I haven't really had a moment to take a break. So 2025 is gonna take things back a bit, kind of post more covers and less original music, maybe one here and there, but not too much, and focus on, you know, developing vocals a bit more, kind of coming back to that side of like the actual art side of things. I feel like sometimes with releases, I get really heavily sidetracked into the business side of things. So 2025 might be a bit quieter, but I'll be working in the back. Where was your favorite place to perform in 2024? So obviously Wembley Arena, because that was huge and a huge, huge bucket list moment, performing at the legendary Wembley Arena. But the questions was also, how were you feeling at every show? I do feel a bit nervous before I go on, but the second I go on stage, stage, all those nerves somehow go because I just love being there at that moment, seeing people sing along with me, seeing people cheering. It's like the best feeling ever. I feel like it's a high, it's like an adrenaline rush. What was your favorite music video you released in 2024? So hard to choose your favorite song, but I think it would be a tie between the Rani music video and the Without You music video. Without You because it was very, it was different. It was an acting sort of video and had more of a storyline to it. Rani just because the whole set was insane, and the team behind the video did a smashing job, from makeup to outfit to video to setup to everything. It was a big team involved in this one, so thank you to everyone that was involved. How do you think your music style has changed or stayed the same this year? It has definitely changed. It's very different. The constant is the fact that I bring the East and the West, have different languages on it. But I think what changed this year is the genre. I started off with a very melodious Bollywood style with Without You. Then we did Saloni, which was garage, very urban sort of vibe. Then went to hip hop with Rani. Then back to R&B with Fade Away. So overall, I've tested many different genres throughout the year, which I really liked because it kind of broadened my music portfolio, which is really good. 2024 was huge for you. Congrats. Thank you. Was there a moment this year that felt like a wow, I've made it moment? Definitely at the Ethnicity Awards. It was actually really cute. We were at the awards and it was a really nice setting. We were chauffeured into the venue. We were given a place to sit. We were next to Olympians, next to people from Towie, next to someone from the Sugar Babes. So big people on the table, and my dad sort of whispered in my ear like, this is the first time I feel like I'm the parent of a celebrity, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I think it's just the vibe of that whole event, the fact that I was nominated amongst such huge people, that whole experience felt like a wow, I've made it moment. But if anything, it was when I was on Getty Images. It was funny because again, manifestation, literally like earlier this year or maybe last year, I was like, oh, I really want a Getty Images. That's when I know that I've somewhat made it, and it happened this year. So that was a big one. But yeah, I obviously wouldn't say I've made it. There's so much more to go, but this is probably one of the first moments where I felt like, I'm getting there. What's your own favorite piece of merch? So you may have seen me soft launch this, but we have a merch line now. I'm wearing one of them, which is the Rani t-shirt. You can go to my website and you can order them, or order them on Instagram, or order them on TikTok. But yeah, I've got t-shirts, I've got necklaces, I've got some tote bags. This is one that I have on me right now, which has the track list. But yeah, I have a necklace that says Rani in 3 different colors. So yeah, if you want one, go grab one. But my favorite one piece of merch, tough choice. I think I'm proud of the description t-shirts. Basically, like for example, if it says Rani, it will have Rani, have the description in the format of like an Urban Dictionary description, and then have the lyrics. So yeah, that one is probably one of my favorite ones. And thank you to everyone that helped me decide which designs to go for. You've done so many interviews this year. Which one did you enjoy the most? Probably the Telugu podcast, because it was so fun speaking in my mother tongue, explaining things in my mother tongue, and it also just meant that people back home, like my parents' families, could understand a lot of it. Usually when I do English interviews, they don't understand everything, but this one, everyone was watching. I went to India in December and everyone was talking about it. Mentioned a few things that only people from Andhra would know, or like my family would know. Like I picked out certain favorite foods. But yeah, I think that one was just a personal one, and the fact that I could do it in my mother tongue, so that one was really fun. What were your biggest challenges of 2024? I think some big challenge was obviously the EP. Great reward, but there was a lot of challenges with it in terms of business planning for it. My teams had changed throughout the year. I had a few assistants come and go, changed like videographers throughout. So a lot of the decision making was on me, and it can get scary sometimes. But we got through it. I think one thing that has really helped me throughout this year is reminding myself that everything happens for a reason. I even did like a little speech about my journey and how everything happens for a reason is my life motto. But yeah, that has really helped me get through things. And I think especially this year was, first year out of uni, and I started full-time work. So being able to balance full-time work with music was a real tough one. But we got through the year, and I'm still going to be navigating throughout it through 2025. Okay, so now let's look at my goals for me to check if I have stuck to these goals, and also set some goals for 2025. So let's go back to my 2023 vlog. 24, one of the biggest ones is hoping to release an EP. So I released that EP, Rani, as we know, and I'm so glad we hit that one because it's something I've been working on for a while now. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but EP tour. So I did an EP launch tour in October time while I was launching the EP, performed at Beyond the Manchester, performed at a few Diwali shows. So that was me launching the EP, but I didn't do like a headline show tour. So that is a goal I'm gonna take into the new year. A big one is to give back to you guys, my core fans, because I want to give back to you some way or the other. You guys let me know how that is, whether that's through merch, whether that's through meet and greets. So we did merch for you guys can order it, and I know that I have this one top fan, so I'm going to be giving you a piece of merch as a thank you this year. So I also launched a lot of stuff on Even, which is exclusive to my core fans, which if you guys got that on Even, you would have seen me breaking down each song on the EP as a podcast, talking about all the stories behind it in depth. You guys would have got early access to merch, and yeah, so much more on there. So those were two key things I did this year to give back to you guys. It's creating a solid team around me. So solid team around me. I think it's done well. So yeah, I did mention that it was a challenge of kind of sifting through teams throughout the year, but I think I've got a good team now. I've got 3 assistants, I had someone helping me on my social media, videographers that I had, makeup artists as a go-to. So I just overall really built my network and the team of people that I work with this year, and I think that was a given with the amount of releases that I had going on, but I'm really glad that one has been achieved. But you know, the team can only get bigger and better, so that's just an ongoing goal that I'm gonna have throughout my life. So now let's set my music goals for 2025. This year has been all about original music and has been a really, really good year. But I want to step back in 2025 and do more covers, kind of get back to that relatability aspect, because I didn't do that many covers this year. So I want to post a cover on Instagram or YouTube or release it on platforms, whatever I decide to do, at least once a month. Even if it's a small 1-minute cover, I want to do 12 in the entirety of next year. I want to sit back and do more studio sessions. So get into studios at the very least twice a month. And I think a good step to this would be going to a songwriting camp. Another one is my vocal development, so having more regular singing lessons. One is a goal that I'm taking in from 2024, which is getting the EP tour sorted, and I'm kind of in talks of that. So I'm hoping to have a headline show in the new year, and so I hope that that happens, and kind of connect with people to see how to do a UK tour. But yeah, those are my goals for 2025. If there's anything you guys want to see for me this year, let me know. Put me a DM or comment below. But yeah, thank you to everyone for sticking with me throughout this year. It's been one hell of a ride, and I can only thank you guys for making this such an amazing year. So thank you. Hope you guys have had an amazing 2024, and wishing you guys a very happy new year for 2025. Lots of love.